Are we good to go?
I think that we're live, Subwest. Alrighty.
Indeed we are. We are raiding to the airwaves. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the opening night of the Australian Amateur Overwatch League. My name is Justin, aka Subwest, and I have a right-hand man. Would you kindly introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Razrip. I have not done very much casting before, but it's looking like it's going to be a good match today. Two teams, equal-ish skill, both mid-diamond, so I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Indeed, we do have a very huge crop of potential superstars in Overwatch and Overwatch League. And we do have 3 maps on show for you tonight between Aethon and MGSharks. I want to see plenty of shark references in amongst everyone, but we have Aethon in the blue, and in the red we do have the MGSharks as the team's rollout of the first point of Oasis.
Alrighty, and immediately I'm noticing that Primex is going to be on the Pharaoh, and there's really not much to counter that on Aethon's side at all.
There is next to nothing to deal with the airborne threat of Primex on the Pharaoh. You may want to keep an eye on him as they start to skirmish onto the points. And both of the Reinhardts are trading blows, and the Pharaoh will draw first blood by taking out the Zarya, leaving MGSharks with the upper hand very early on. It doesn't look like Aethon is able to retaliate.
And this first fight's going to be won by the Sharks purely because they had the surprise factor in the Pharaoh. Now that they'll be expecting it, Aethon should be able to play against that Pharaoh specifically, and they won't lose that advantage. You can see now they're switching to the McCree just for that Pharaoh, so the next fight should be much more fun.
It may very well be, but they will be already on the full ult advantage. And Primex has already taken down 2, and the res from EMS has been used on the hands of Gold Jam Jar, but it looks like they've already been pushed back on the side of Aethon, and this Pharah is straight up running riot.
And not only are they pushing them back, they're pushing them into their spawn. There's not much further back they can go. That was a brutal push by the Sharks. If they can keep this up, they should be able to hold this point comfortably for another 60%. Okay, and the ult is coming out for McCree on the side of the Sharks, which will give them a big advantage. But Primex has gone down already, the Pharaoh. The Pharmacy versus the Pharaoh was too much of a matchup. And look at that. That's a massive shadow out of Kirill, and Aethon's going to push hard on that. They've gotten 3 picks already, 4 picks, and that'll be the rest of the Sharks dead as soon as they finish off Zarya.
Aethon essentially blew the Sharks out of the water, and you could call it a Sharknado of sorts.
That's number 1. Alright.
Indeed, that we have a personal tally between us as to how many shark references we can get into a single cast. They are loaded for bear in terms of ultimates though, with 4 out of the 6 up and ready to go. But Glacy is already very, very low, being the McCree.
Big shadow from the Sharks, and he charges him right after it, but it gets blocked by Kirill on the side of Aethon, so he gets no value out of it, and that's 3 picks already, and it looks like it's going to be the Sharks' turn to be pushed back to spawn. That McCree over there, he is just shark bait as he gets destroyed by Zarya.
My ultimate is
Scratch one more!
That's 1-1.
Hey, cool. And Aethon, despite starting off very, very shaky, it looks like they've started to pull everything back in their favor, and they've basically left the Sharks wanting for answers. But this is looking to be the most even fight thus far in terms of ult advantage and positioning. But this position from Aethon could come back to bite them. We'll have to wait and see in this next engagement.
And look at that, they charge immediately in, and when the Rhine gets charged in by the Rhine, that gives the perfect opening for Cloud to get a pick on the McCree. So now it's a 6v5, and the Sharks are going to try to regroup before they have to push 5v6, but the Zarya is going to die as well, so they're forced all the way back into spawn again.
The Cloud's causing a lot of strife for the rest of the Sharks, and Girl Jam Jar will take out John Ball, as well as Primex being his superior at this time on the Pharaoh. And now Aethon's taken the lead, and with authority, and the Sharks are running out of time and space.
There's ults on both sides, which means this will be the final fight as well, considering the time. So we're going to see, that's the first trap coming out of Stark, and that's the Pharaoh ult, but it's going to get counteracted by the sound barrier, so the no damage is going to get through. Both Pharaoh ults will come out, they both got 2 picks, so it's an even 4v4 fight. Not anymore, not now that the Pharaoh's getting 4 picks. This fight looks like it's going to go towards Aethon, unless only though if they can kill that Pharaoh, and if they can kill that McCree. The McCree's taking damage, so is the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh's gone down, they just need to clean up McCree. He's going to try to get up on high ground, but he's killed before he can use his ult.
He didn't even have the chance to run away. The Zarya beam will cut him in half. And that is the first point of Oasis going to Aethon.
This whole map was really a lot of Pharah v Pharah. The Pharaohs were so influential.
Indeed, and
You know, I had a
perhaps
poster
one of
on
the
my wall when I was
points
younger.
where Pharah can be most prolific. And that was definitely put on display there. We go into the second point of Oasis, and I'm just completely blanked on what point this actually is.
This is Gardens? Gardens? Is it?
5.
I think it's Gardens. I'm honestly not sure.
Either way, it's very pretty, and the severity, both the teams will roll out. We do have the Soldier 76 now, as opposed to the McCree. Maybe a little bit of an easier pick for the particular player to deal with the airborne Pharah, but we will have to wait and see. We have heroes on both sides. They've come out hard and swinging early.
Yeah, the Sharks have moved to high ground, and the dive from the side of Aethon is up right on top of them. But Reinhardt's really getting so much damage when it's being pocketed by the Mercy, so the dive's just not getting anything through, especially given the healers are totally safe behind the Ryan shield. The Sharks have been pushed off now, and they're going to get right back on high ground. They really want high ground, even though point has been taken by Aethon. And that's the first pick. That's Pharah going down from the side of Aethon, which means Sharks have the advantage here. They can push hard, but they're not pushing their advantage right now. They're just chilling out, run swinging casually, but they're not doing much damage. This is free charge for Aethon, and the Pharah does get res at the cost of the Mercy. It's still a 5v6, but now it's just without the Mercy instead of the Pharah, which puts Aethon even more disadvantage. But they're still going to stall, and good on them, because it doesn't look like the Sharks are pressing this advantage at all. They do have a soldier on the high ground now, so they have a solid advantage, and they should be able to clean up. That's another pick. That's another pick, and it looks like it's over for Aethon.
It's a sea of red. There is blood in the water, and the Sharks are very, very hungry. There is a primal and very, very angry Winston who will surely hit the deck very, very shortly. And now the point will flip over, and now the Sharks will accrue a little bit more percentage as the next engagement will come through very shortly.
Ooh, and that's a pick by Cloud. So the Ryan is gone, and he might get a res if Jean Paul can get there on time, but it doesn't look like he can. He's hiding right now from the Pharah. That's 2 picks now, so this is where Aethon needs to push hard, and they're doing it. The Monkey's not even back, so they're going to push the advantage. Pharah's getting the second pick now. The Pharmacy's just doing so much damage. They're going to try to kill the Hanzo, because Primax is the only threat to the Pharah now. If they can knock him out, they'll have everyone gone. But they're not fighting together at all, but it's not going to matter if they get picks like that. That was excellent, and they did it all only at the cost of a single mech.
Indeed, and it made them all want to run scared, but the big next part of this fight will be the fact that these Sharks are entirely loaded for bed. They have all their ultimates on deck and a full chance to drive their opponents out of town. We'll have to wait and see as they plan their next avenue of attack. Looks like the red team has entirely gathered outside and is now wanting to move in as soon as they can.
And they're going to push the high ground because they want to get their soldier on high ground to use his ult so he can knock out at least the pharmacy, and that's the Visor coming out immediately. He's going to try to kill anyone, but no, the Zen's going to use his trance to mitigate the entirety of the damage. The Sparrow does come out of Aethon. He's going to get him, yes, he managed to get Trimax. This is the advantage they need, especially with that second pick. He finishes off with his Zarya, so they can take the 64, and they will. They're pushing really hard. That's Zen with his own pick on soldier. Excellent. That means there's no threat to the Sparrow, and he can go absolutely nothing to stop him. Ryan does manage to get a pick to the side of Sharks, but it's not going to be enough as the rest of his team is sleeping with fishes.
Oof, that's another one. And the only good thing, there was only the Valkyrie and the tactical visor, but there is the Diva Bomb pulled out. Let's just see you later, my friend.
Oh, look at that, the one-move combo, the grab into the
Dragon Strike. They are very, very hungry, my friend. And it looks like another engagement will come.
And that's the Earth Shadow. They're using all of their ults now. Sharks is using this opportunity to get the point. This is their last fight, so they're taking every single ult they can and using it. And they demech the Diva. They just need to kill the baby Diva, and they have this point. It costed so many ults, but they did take it back.
Well, they basically did have to go for broke because the blue side of Aethon had already hit 99%. So there is definitely no harm in wanting to go for broke. And as we go into a little bit of a respite, a little bit of recoil, there are a couple of ults on deck. The Primal Rage from Carol, the Attack Visor, and the Valkyrie. So expect a little bit of a potential attack or a dry run to get more ultimates in the interim. But it looks like they're actually wanting to go for this. And Sark is very, very hungry and going for the old man named Reinhardt.
And this is Cloud's Visor. He's looking for whatever he can get, but there's really not much. He does manage to pick up the Mercy from the low ground, which was impressive. The Mercy had been trying to escape from him. Stark manages to follow up with 2 picks, but the soldier on the side of Sharks is going to get his own pick. It's just not going to be enough, though, because the numbers advantage is going to be so far on the side of Aethon. And if they can kill Lucio, that should be enough to take the point.
That's all.
He's
That's all.
sold it so well.
It's all T-Sack. It's all his good form. It was a valiant effort to bleed out the time. The point will tick over. Mr. John Paul will try to get there as Moira touches it briefly, and now Stark is trying to push them all back and prevent them from advancing any further. And that is Oasis done and dusted. Aethon will be your victors, and they go up 1-0 in this 3-map series.
Wow, that was such a competitive match as well. Let's watch us play the game. I'm very excited to see Pharah take out half of the Sharks.
This was insane. Just absolute patience, and no matter what they had the sound barrier. They had a giant Reinhardt shield as well, and that just melted them mercilessly.
The Lucio ult was just not enough to get through that Pharah ult. There's so much damage that came out of that. That was insane. It was so well constructed as well. The Pharah was waiting just in the right spot. And I feel so bad for Sharks Lucio because his reflexes were so good. The second the grab came in, he pressed that Q button, but it was all for nothing. So unfortunate. But that was a very dominant performance by Team Aethon. I'm excited for Kings Row.
Yes, Oasis will be in the favor of Aethon, and we go to what is considered by many to be the, if I can find an equivalent, the Dust 2 of Overwatch. We go to Kings Row, and we go through the motions as to who will be attacking or defending. We will go into the map very shortly. And this opening night of the Amateur Australian Overwatch League, it's actually a really curious big and something that I'm really looking forward to going through this entire season. The 4th season of the league. And potential future stars. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. I think we can already see some potential future stars on both these teams. What's that name, the Pharah on Aethon? I haven't pronounced it yet because there's so many letters. I can't say words.
That would be...
AOEsports?
Boogary Jamjar.
I'm going to call him Jam. Jam works.
Jam. Shout out to Jam Gaming. And Chris, I'm proud of you. I miss you. I know he probably won't watch this, but I'm sure he'll appreciate it all the same.
Aww.
And we go into the hero assembly, and just judging from this early preview of the potential compositions, another thing of note too during Oasis, I did not see a Brigitte on deck for either side, which is quite interesting because if you watch even Contenders Trials or the Overwatch League, you see Brigitte pretty much every single time, but it was not the case. But we see the rollouts happen now, and it looks like Aethon will be your defenders. We have Cloud on the Junkrat, EMS with Ana, Zarya being Stark, Oguri Jamjar being the Hanzo, Carol being your Reinhardt, and JPEG Mafia being the Zenyatta, wanting to keep the peace.
It's very interesting to me that Aethon has chosen to run an Ana and a Lucio instead of the usual Mercy or Moira. It's going to mean that the Reinhardt's going to have a lot more health if he's going to play hard, and he's going to need to because he's going to get decimated when the Sharks stun him and then shred him. Running the is going to give him a big advantage against Bashard.
Keep an eye on Glacius Hayes and the Brigitte, proven to be quite the menace, and they get right to the gate already, and already wanting to go at the point. But poor Carol will take Magic's clean
not poor Carol. He
out
gets
of the fight as well as the rest of the Sharks. I'm sorry, you have been tagged and thrown back. They will have to recoil and give it another go.
That was...
But Aethon's defense is holding strong.
That was insane. Kirill deserved to die. He made a brave charge, but his team wouldn't let him. There was so much follow-up that he got away with making an insane play like that, and he got 3 kills out of it. Which
they won't let him. They will not let him do that again. I can almost guarantee you that.
Absolutely. And he already almost has his ult as well, which is a big advantage of this next fight, because they're about to need it.
If the attack of Reinhardt can drop their shield for long enough, it could be quite detrimental. But he'll be taken out of the fight by Cloud, and John Paul will bring back the Brigitte into the fight. But it looks like it's already been stunned right at the gate. They will have to recoil and give it another go. They are left with a little bit of a strong and staggered advance. But they're still wanting to have a go. The Dragon Strike will go out and cut the team in half.
It's a zoning ult. It's a zoning ult. And Kirill goes in for a very brave charge. He's got the adrenaline pumping, but he's not going to get anything because the rest of the Sharks are just too scattered. And no, he uses it right into the shield. Most is going to get a res up from Magic, which means the Sharks have their Zarya back, and that was a great counter charge by Frost. The charge is going to come through the anyway, which means the Sharks are fighting 5v2 on point. Look at that. Zen throws out his orb. His trance. JPEG wants to win this fight. Is it enough to keep Kirill alive?
Has just been put to bed and eats the wall too.
Brilliant. And now it's just clean up for Kirill.
Yeah, and now the actual rally will come out. A little bit ill-advised perhaps, given how Brigitte has tended to be used. But it looks like the Sharks have completely commandeered control. The fish and chips here are quite vicious now. And now...
looks like the Brigitte has learned from her mentor with a free kill of her own. That was an excellent attack.
I love that tie into the lore. That was beautiful. Now Aethon will have to try and contend on the second point. So they're wanting to go with the S-bend and then perhaps defend at the arch. Let the card advance slightly and then plan their next attack.
Yeah, they're still waiting for their Reinhardt. They can't push until they get their main tank. But as soon as they do, Kirill has his Shadow, so they're going to be playing very aggressively. It's really going to be who can block each other's Shadow, because they both want to use it. And there it is. Frost goes first, and he gets 3, and the Dragon's coming through as well for the follow-up. Are they going to pick anyone? They're in the narrow corridor with Orion, and he doesn't manage to get anyone, but puts enough damage on that his rest of the team can just clean up Aethon easily. It's just Kirill. He needs to back out. He's going to feed if he doesn't run away right now. JPEG's probably the guy in this end.
Same with JPEG, he is in quite a harmful position. The Iron's trying their best to try to keep him alive, and it looks like he will actually get away with that, despite being caught so far out of position.
Yeah, he should have been chased down by the Sharks. They should have done it.
They should have eaten on him, but the Graviton Surge will actually come out.
And it's
Dark Cloud. Yeah, indeed. And the only one that was able to reply was the big beefy Reinhardt, but he will be caught behind enemy lines. And just outside of the fountain, the cart will stall. And now Aethon will actually try to steady the ship and prevent these Sharks from advancing. Basically, they're going to need a bigger boat and a bigger wall to defend.
Okay, you're better at this than I am. These puns are coming so natural to you.
I'm a laugh at trivia nights. They're looking to do another advance, but it looks like Kirill and JPEG are starting that real quick.
Yeah, and he's going to follow it up with a big charge onto the Reinhardt, putting half. And it looks like Aethon will just be cleaning up right now, putting out some spam damage and forcing the Shark all the way back through the choke. That was a really great fire strike. They got a pick which started that fight, and it ended the fight really before it began.
Indeed, and given the attackers, and they only have about 2 minutes and 15 left on the clock, about 2 minutes flat when they engage next, but JPEG Mafia is just throwing off. Shonak would be proud as another attack is basically thwarted with 4 of the members of the Sharks hitting the deck, and poor John Paul eats a Sonic Arrow.
Kirill loves those sneaky Ryan plays, sitting behind enemy lines and going for the Shadow or the charge, and it's working. He hasn't been punished for it yet.
Indeed, and the attackers do have a full set of ults, but John Paul gets deleted from the fight by JPEG Mafia using the charge set of orbs from the Zenyatta. Given that he was a preacher of peace, he's actually preaching a lot of destruction. I would love to know his stats by the end of it if he gets a card. But now we are down to 1 minute 30. Perhaps wanting to advance further, they don't really have much of a choice, but they should be running scared.
So with the Dragons coming through now, the Dragons coming out from both sides, and the Trance is going to come out of JPEG, which is going to keep his team alive. But it looks like the Dragons coming out of Aethon didn't hit anyone, and now the grab's coming through, but it's too late because there's no Dragons for it. Tramas has got a pick, and he's going to roll on point. Kirill does have the mana, so he can swim hard and swim fast. Can he get any kills? No, Brigitte is going to bash him away, but that's the Shadow. He doesn't get a charge off because Brigitte died before he could get to him. And Kirill's just going to be getting real low unless Anna can keep him alive. It'll be the end of the fight for Aethon. But Anna is doing so well, not being targeted. But Kirill is at full health, and he really shouldn't be if the Sharks target him.
No, they have no right. They used everything to the Sharks, and it might not actually pay off at all. The cards barely advanced, and none of the members are going down. The reinforcements are coming in for Aethon. It looks like Kirill is finally being pushed back.
Look at this. Now that his Anna is dead, he can't maintain that aggressive style of play anymore.
No, aggression is good and yet an absolute curse if it's used incorrectly. Now Jamjar actually has the Dragon Strike at the ready. He's the only one with an ultimate though, so it might just be another dry run. And hopefully they're aiming not to completely seize the Foundry. The Dragon Strike will go out. The Storm Bow will try to fly straight and true, but barely any damage sustained by the attackers of the Sharks. And they've done a brawl on the cart, and now Jamjar will actually claim 2 of their prey. And now we are in overtime, sir.
And it's just a brawl on point. Jamjar is doing so much work right now getting the picks. He needs to charge his ult as Stark gets his grab, but that's the grab that's coming out of the other side. But again, JK with the chance. That's twice now he's nullified the grabs, and there's the grab, but there's no Dragon's follow-up. This is the 99, but it's not going to matter because no one's inside it, and that'll be the end of the round anyway. That was excellent.
That was an insane hold for a couple of those fights. Aethon should thank their lucky stars with the fact that both of those fights basically went their way. Yes, the first one at the S-Bend did end up in a losing favor, but they bled so much time and so much contest time, they barely were able to get the cart pushed towards the Foundry where the Sharks.
Absolutely. I really think that EMS carried that defense because EMS just would not let Kirill die. Every single fight, Kirill would be swinging and swinging, and EMS wouldn't let him die. But the second that EMS got picked off, so did Kirill, and then the defense just fell every time.
They were basically like glue.
Absolutely, that's right. I think if the Sharks want to take a chunk out of the Aethon, they're going to need to take out the Ana first. That should be priority.
Just pretend that the yarn is full of shrimp, and they'll have to go right at them. And it looks like we will have the technically they can if if they're no wait, that's whales, not sharks. Never mind.
Hang on, do whales eat shrimp? I thought they eat krill.
Yeah, because they're baleen ones. You eat like shrimp and prawns and stuff like that.
Okay, what eats krill?
Attackers incoming in 30
let me get back to you on that. I'm not overly well versed in maritime trivia, but regardless, your attackers will be Aethon. We have a Junkrat, Lucio, Diva. Looks like a maid to get someone up on the high ground from Jamjar. The Reinhardt again from Carroll. He had an absolute day on the defense, and we have JPEG Mafia on the Moira to cap it all off. And if John Paul gets taken out quickly, expect this to be a very quick take.
Absolutely. There's a Mei on both sides, which is interesting. And Glacius is looking for a quick roll-off on maybe the Reinhardt. And he gets it on the Diva, but Diva can fly, unfortunately, so they won't be getting stocked today.
A little bit of an unfortunate pick-off there. We have another engagement right outside the statue. And the poor Stark will be frozen up in her very dashing Outlaw's armor, and one member each will go down. But the healer is down for Aethon, and that's definitely stifled any chance of an attack, unless one of the members could pull off some unbelievable heroics.
And it looks like the Sharks will just be cleaning up. Just they need to kill the main, that'll be it. It was so easy for them to kill Kirill because EMS wasn't pocketing him. Kirill is maintaining the aggressive level of play of the last round, but without the pocket Ana to keep him alive. So Kirill's gonna need to just chill and protect his team if they're gonna take this point. Alright, so Primex already has his tire. He'll be using it this fight, most likely get a pick in the backline before the fight starts. And look at that, Kirill perfectly.
That was about as big of a pick you could ask for, given that wall placement. And Jamjar now on the Farah as opposed to the Mei could end up being quite a formidable force, given there is no hit scan to technically deal with him. But absolutely, now they're held at the choke for now.
There's not even a Diva, there's nothing. This Farah should run rampant. Unless the Mei can hit 2 or 3 headshots in a row, I think that this fight will be won by Aethon.
This fight should be won by Aethon on the back of Jamjar, if anything is to be indicated by the team compositions. Carroll will take Reinhardt quickly out of the fight. One of the Riptires will go. Huge shatter by the particular Reinhardt on the defense. Everybody's frozen on the point thanks to the blizzard. Now another Riptire will go. This barrage from Jamjar will claim 2 scalps, and it's forced the Sharks retreat. Aethon will finally claim first.
That was a crazy fight. There were just so many ults, and as soon as they pick off this Mei, they should be able to cap. There it is. That was just a mess of ults, but at the end of the day, Jamjar just pumped out so much damage that they managed to get their ult and use it in the one fight, and it was just insane. the Sharks are going to need a hit scan, and there it is. Glacius is going to switch to McCree to counter this Pharah, which is such an important decision. And even now, Aethon is pushing up and getting poked and injured. This is a great aggression.
Imagine came so close to going down. Losing a tank very early on could be quite a detriment. The Junkrat went low as well, but got behind the Reinhardt shield, which is good to them. But it's all the free real estate where this payload can advance, and there may be one fair fight left if the defenders of the Sharks are not careful. But Jack will actually take out Jamjar, but the res will come through. EMS will bring them back into the fight, and this fight will actually continue right near the payload.
Magix used his grab, but he didn't get anything out of it. It opens up the field for JPEG to use Fizzle, and especially if Jamjar's gonna chuck in as well, this will be an easy fight. There was just no follow-up to Magic's ult there, which was the problem with that defense.
Yeah, if there isn't a follow-up to a grab with that much weight, it's going to be actually quite a detriment to them. Jamek Mafia will wipe out Primix, and Jamjar will do the same to Jack. And if the attackers of Aethon can actually hold them back, that's exactly what they did. It is now a 2-0 to Aethon in quite a dominant fashion.
Absolutely.
And we go to Temple of Anubis to conclude.
Alright, Aethon was having a lot of trouble attacking there, but as soon as they whipped out that Pharah, it was all over. There was just nothing Sharks could do to contest that Pharah. See, the problem here is, I think, for the Sharks, is that the Pharah is in the sky, but the Sharks are underwater, which means they just can't, the Sharks can't fly. That's a problem. Look at that, wow, JPEG. That's insane.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
His play is too high quality to be JPEG.
No, it's MP4 and 4K.
Ooh,
download that in FLAC, and that is a 2-0 map score for Aethon versus MGSharks. So we go into the final map of the evening, Temple of Anubis, and if that particular map was any indicator, if Jamjar is back on Pharah again, and they don't switch to a hit scan with high proficiency quick enough, it could be a blazing speed capture period.
Well, their name is Aethon, so here's my prediction. Aethon runs Pharah. They take point A in about, I don't know, 2 seconds, maybe 3 max.
Now entering
point B, totally open, but point A will be a very easy attack for Aethon, I think.
Who knows? We will have to wait and see. But
I know. Yeah. So who's attacking first? Let's see. Okay, so we'll have the Sharks defending first. So it will be Aethon attacking first, and I think they have to run this Pharah. They have to do it. I reckon I'm expecting the Ryan Zarya Pharah.
Well, there's no reason not to if they know that it works. Perhaps if the only reason they would go anything different if they're not feeling comfortable on it on assault maps, or hell, if they know it's working, why stop now? And we go to the Temple of Anubis. Hopefully we get treasures of our own to feast our eyes on.
Okay, and let's have a look at these comps. Let's see what they're running. So yes, we will have an Orisa come out instead of Reinhardt, I predicted. I'm already 0 for 1 on predictions. So
we're not having you on panels anymore. Sorry.
That's what I deserve. That's what I deserve.
Womp womp. We'll have to wait and see until everybody assembles to see the full composition. We see a Pharah, Mercy, Stark on the Diva, Jamjar on the Genji. Really flexing their hero pool, which is really great to see. And Carol hopefully just having a bit of a laugh in Spawn with the Symmetra.
There's no way you play Sin. You can't fool us. You're just...
You
just want to play with the basketball.
Have you seen... Oh, I can't blame them. Speaking of basketball, poor Cavaliers got swept out by the Warriors. Can we not get a repeat of that for the next 4 years, please?
That's rough.
Yeah, well, I don't follow baseball. I don't follow basketball because baseball and hockey are better.
Ooh, interesting. I'll have to disagree with you there because they're all trash sports, and tennis is the one to watch.
I'd rather watch Pong.
Sign me up, Pong.
Where's Pong AOEsports? Toss has actually left the game, so
he had a crash.
We've had a bit of a crash, so we've got a little bit of air to fill. Yeah, Australian internet, the tin cans and string are definitely showing off quite well.
That's right. I do think, honestly, I would cast Pong. I think it would be really entertaining for the viewer.
Pong is a competitive esport that was long before esports were invented.
So the thing about competitive Pong is that it really it creates its own storyline throughout matches and tournaments. It's just such an in-depth and detailed game, and this strategy to Pong is just next level. And I think to really understand it, you have to have at least played a game like chess or Overwatch for at least 20 or 30 years.
Oh, at least. It's one of the games that has definitely stood the test of time was Pong. It's had so many different iterations. They've all had the same moveset, but it's been such a timeless title. It's up in the pantheons of StarCraft, Street Fighter, that type of those shameless titles that have been long etched in history at esports. And of course, Counter-Strike, which also evolved from Pong.
Yes, absolutely. You can see the influence as well in a lot of professional Counter-Strike matches, because a lot of CS pros will actually, instead of scrimming and playing CSGO to practice, they'll play Pong for 12 hours before a professional match, because their reflexes and their game sense will just be on the level that you need. So,
I've seen this firsthand. You're 100% correct, and we're totally not making this up. Looks like Thoswood is now back in the server. They should be back on track very shortly. We're just about to roll out on the final map of the evening, which is Temple of Anubis, in the opening day of the Australian Amateur Overwatch League, powered by AOE. I've been Justin, aka Cyberwaste, and Razip has been my right-hand man.
Hello, that's me. I just want to point out, I want to talk about Jamjar real quick, because I'm really excited for the Genji. I don't think Jamjar has only played Pharah so far, correct?
Pharah, and yeah, I think only Pharah as of now.
Well, if the Genji's as good as the Pharah, then I'm gonna be.
I would be terrified.
Yeah.
I would be terrified if I was on the defense, but it looks like we have the teams rolling out. Glacier with the Torbjorn. We have a short stack and a turret behind the Orisa shield, greeting them at the gates. Looks like they are moving towards the little corridor where the sim will be there to greet them, and the sim will be made to ride the lightning by Winston's Tesla cannon, and has definitely called out the fact that there is a lot of lasers dead ahead. They should proceed with caution.
It seems to me right now that Aethon is just BMing a little bit, honestly. They're running a very... Oh, no, they're not. Sorry, I was wrong. They're running a very good comp. I didn't even see they had an Orisa. This is amazing. Look at this hold. There's just nothing that the Sharks can do to get through all the spam damage. They're going to need to switch to a shield tank, and they do. Kirill back on the Rhine.
Well, they don't really have a choice, and that Winston shield, as versatile as it could be, it's only 200 HP, and it's not really worth all that much. And Jack will take out JPEG Mafia. And those reflects actually pulled off a lot of damage, almost taking out the Orisa, but the Mercy will be there to save them. It looks like they'll be able to hold strong for now on the side of the Sharks.
And TCAC with an insane little shot on Cloud. The 12 turret is going to do so much in narrowing down Cloud's options. He's not going to be able to put out much damage, because he's going to be getting targeted by that 12 turret. It's going to help out Aethon a lot in this next push. They're not going to have to worry about this.
Thanks for the assist.
And even then, if they end up having to retreat, they can just put down the turret again and put down the shield again, and everything will be fine.
That's it.
We're at a bit of a stalemate as of now. We're running into 225. It looks like the attackers side will actually start to move in and try to put in a little bit of a stiff resistance, but MGSharks will take out Jamjar and claim another victim in the mercy of EMS, and now another one fight, pretty much, for the Sharks.
Ooh, and that's the ult out of TCAC. Probably wasn't necessary, and he's going to get punished for it as well. But it won't matter, because Magix has put up his teleporter, and no, he's going to get rezzed anyway.
Yeah,
So the Sharks are a bit scattered at the moment. Pharah needs to try to escape without getting targeted by the 12 turret. He's in the top left, so he's got his ult. He's going to wait for an opportunity to try to use it. No, he needs to back out now. He's being caught. And is he going to make it out?
He's not going to make it. Poor Glacier actually tagged him just as they were getting to the archers that we're playing with a person down. They will have to play very, very cautiously. EMS will actually res them back into the fight. Now, with that intel, will this hold any value from Cloud. It will have to go very, very soon. We're running down into 1 minute 19. Sub 1 minute, and it's not going to be ideal. Even if they do get the point, they'll be left with 4 minutes. The attack is actually almost down. Carol will hit the deck. The Dragon Blade will come out from Jamjar. That doesn't seem to have caught any value. Start will actually take out Doswood. Jack will take out JPEG. And it looks like we are still at a tug of war.
Wow. The combination of the Orisa ult and the Torb ult just did so much damage to the Sharks. They had to focus on the Torb turret. They had to knock it out, but they couldn't. It had 800 health. And it put out so much damage, distracting Genji, so he couldn't deal any damage.
This is so unorthodox though. Both the Pharah and the Mercy are strung out to dry. They're both far apart from their teammates. They're just about to get to the gates. And if they're both not careful, especially the Mercy, will actually go down. They've already got the push back in. But Chuck with the barrage ready to go. And Doswoon and Chuck will claim basically 3 scalps in total. And Chuck will take out the Zarya as well. They will hold strong. We're running down to 10 seconds. And even if the Ryan will touch the point, well, he won't touch it because he's dead. It looks like they will be full held by the Sharks.
Wow, pure cheese. That's gonna feel rough if you're Aethon. Sorry, it's gonna feel rough if you're Sharks. The Sharks had 3 ults out that they didn't get the chance to use because they just couldn't get a clean engage in. Magic's on the Zarya, I think it was, tried to get the grab in, but the second he did, Aethon's Pharah just blasted them with the barrage, so they just didn't have the opportunity to follow up at all. Whenever the Sharks tried to do anything, the whole of Aethon was there to shut them down immediately, and it was such a strong strategy. I'm expecting that we're going to see from Sharks the same kind of cheese.
I mean, yeah, they definitely want to replicate that. Hang on, am I going mad, or was Sharks on defense and Aethon on attack?
How about I've been calling them the wrong names the whole time? Nice.
You may have been.
I think so. That's rough. I'm so used to Aethon being blue.
I know they changed at the round intermission when they switched when they chose their side, but they will only have to get a third on the opening point to be able to take the map proper. If they end up getting full held, the Sharks, this will end up in a draw, and the set will end at a 2-0 and 1 draw for the opening night.
Wow, and Prime X is on the Bastion right now. I'm not sure if he's going to stay on it, but I really hope he does, because I actually think this is a valid strategy. It'll
depend. Do we see... Ooh, do we see the double shield? Because I see Doswood on the Reinhardt and Magic's on the Orisa. So we could actually see a double shielded Bastion if they play all this right. Look at them on the high ground,
yeah,
actually.
if they're on the high ground, that means the Bastion's going to have an insane amount of room to get wherever he wants. Because there's not going to be any Orisa and D right down in his face. So this could be a valid strategy of running the Bastion here. And it looks like it will be. Primex doesn't look like he's going to switch.
Wait, Primex is doing Bastion on attack.
This is an insane strategy. It's good. This is so good because he's going to be able to get set up on high ground and no one can contest him.
If they're not careful, yes. Especially if the defenders actually don't expect this. They're wrapping onto the high ground already. It's caught everybody off guard. And poor Genji got stunned. Jamjar's been locked down to the low ground thanks to that Brigitte of Magic's. And it looks like they're still at a stalemate now, especially with Jamjar still getting bashed to death.
They just need to be brave. Just do it. Set it up with the Bastion. Put some damage out. They just need to go for it. And they're not going to do it in time. Judas will die. But Primex is set up now. Let's go, Primex. Some damage.
Indeed. There's definitely something terrifying about a giant Gatling gun. Sark will actually take out the Brigitte of Magic's. That could make this defense a little bit more sound for the time being. Primex just letting it rip. You can hear his chain gun going in the turret form. They're still locked in the room though, as Jamjar will keep them running extremely scared. Primex will put a brief pause on the Gatling gun as the reflect is up, and they're still at a stalemate on the high ground to the left of the defenders.
Jamjar isn't getting many kills, but they're putting out an insane amount of distraction. The Bastion doesn't have a chance to get set up and shoot because there's always a Genji deflecting in his face.
The Jamjar's way out of their own and will be made to pay by Glacy. So that is one big potential thorn in their side taken care of and out of commission. And if Primus is made to run free reign, this could be a very early night. The Diva Bomb will go out. Nobody's claimed. Primus is back in turret form and is letting it rip.
Oh no!
That is that. The Sharks will commandeer the points out of pure fear. And that is a 2-1 series conclusion.
They forgot to touch. No.
That is what is colloquially known as a T9, I recall, as we see this play of the game by Glacy.
And I'm proud that it's not just a turret play of the game, he's doing some solid work here as well.
But a lot of the work was done by the turret.
A lot of the work was done by the turret, yeah, I'll give you that. 40% of team damage was healed by EMS. EMS is one of the best support players I've seen at their rank. That was excellent. EMS was just not letting their team die.
Always tip your healers.
That's right. That was a really, really great match all around. I think it was very... There were definitely moments of dominance from both teams. In Anubis, the Sharks just held so strong on their defense. Just before on King's Row, Aethon was so aggressive on their attack. That was a really, really good match to watch.
That was plenty of fun, and that, if I am being told correctly, that will conclude the opening night of the Australian Amateur Overwatch League's 4th season, the opening round between Aethon and MGSharks. Aethon, your victors, 2-1. My name has been Justin, aka Cyberwaste. Razor Rip has been my co-commentator. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to plug anything, go right ahead.
Oh, sorry, I have nothing to plug. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Hope it's been an interesting match for you. It's been as good as it was for you as it was for us. And definitely tune in later for some more excellent matches throughout the next couple of weeks.
Indeed. Good luck to all the teams in the competition. That is to remind you, 2-1 between Aethon and MGSharks. I've been Justin, aka Cyberwaste. You can follow me on Twitter at @IamCyberwaste. And the rest of the AOEsports comrades at AOEsports on Twitter, if memory serves. And that will conclude tonight's coverage of Season 4 of the Amateur Australia Overwatch League. Good night, happy fragging, and be the best hero that you could be.